Don Giovanni. What is there to say about this opera? Well, for one, the plot, so let's go ahead and recap it. Don Giovanni is based off the legends of Don Juan.
Don Juan triumphant.
Except he's Italian now instead of Spanish. Actually, didn't they do the same thing in Phantom of the Opera where Carlotta was supposed to be Spanish, but then they made her Italian in the show? Well, whatever. I guess Italian is just the fancier, I guess. So the story starts off with our Don Giovanni. Whoa, not that Giovanni. There we go. That's more like it. But for the rest of this, I'm just gonna call him Gio. Even though, yes, I know that technically it's supposed to be pronounced Joe, but I don't care. Come at me, diction nerds. Oh wait, I'm like the biggest diction nerd that I know. Act 1. The story starts off with Mr. Leporello complaining about how crappy of a boss Gio is, literally right as Gio comes out of the house of Donna Anna, who he was hooking up with for the night. Yeah, get ready for a lot of that. That's kind of the whole thing that drives the plot. Did I mention that Anna was married? Well, she is. Gio is just the worst, isn't he? Now, of course, he didn't tell Anna his identity, otherwise he could be caught and chased by her husband Ottavio, who will just represent with Christoph here to keep the whole Frozen analogy consistent. And as he leaves, she chases after him, waking up her father in the process, and her father sees what's going on and tries to fight off Gio. And it goes about as good as you'd expect. He loses because he's old. In fact, Gio actually kills him, and then him and Leporello get away faster than you could say, "Hi, welcome to Chili's." Christoph, Ottavio, is all like, "I will avenge you, father-in-law." And thus we have our setup for the opera. In comes Donna Elvira, one of Gio's many, and I mean many, exes. I'm not kidding when I say that this man keeps an Excel spreadsheet of all of the people that he's been with. And she sobs singing about how mad she is at Gio for betraying her even though she still loved him. The song went a little something like, and Gio, being Gio, does what Gio does best. He tries to make a move on her. Gio's gotta do what Gio's gotta do. Understandably, she freaks out and she attacks him. He runs away again. And then Leporello is like, "Here, as if you weren't already mad enough, this is said Excel spreadsheet that I was talking about earlier. And you thought that I was kidding." And what better way to do this than in the form of a song? The classical opera hit of the catalog aria, literally called that because it catalogs all of the names. It went a little something like this.
A little bit of Monica in my life, a little bit of Erica by my side, a little bit of Rita's all I need, a little bit of Tina's what I see.
Elvira, understandably, is kinda pissed off at Gio for this and also swears revenge on him, bringing the Swearing Revenge on Gio committee up to 2 members now. Anyways, back over at Gio's place, his 2 neighbors, Zerlina and Masetto, are celebrating their engagement with the whole neighborhood, and Gio and Leporello decide to crash the party, if only so that Gio can crush on the bride-to-be. Our protagonist, gentlemen and ladies. So Gio has Leporello take everybody in the party over to his place for some White Claw. Meanwhile, he stays behind with Zerlina, and the 2 of them sing a very iconic love duet that sounds a little something like this. Gio actually manages to get Zerlina to kiss him, but not before the overly attached ex-girlfriend, also known as Elvira, arrives and is like, "Get your hands off my man!" And as if things couldn't get more complicated, Anna and Christoph arrive at the same time, and basically everyone is just kinda out to get Gio at this point. Masetto does eventually find out that Zerlina was about to cheat on him, and she begs for his forgiveness, how else but in the form of a song. And then back at Gio's place, the Swearing Revenge on Gio committee manages to sneak in by just wearing masks to fool Leporello. Wow, that easy, huh? When Masetto finds Gio and is about to accuse him of trying to seduce his wife, Gio pulls what we in the industry like to call a pro-gamer move and accuses Leporello, his only loyal follower, of being guilty instead of him. And at this point, the gang pull off their masks and are like, "Gio killed my father and also slept with my wife and broke this other girl's heart and tried to get the bride to cheat with him." And Gio, being Gio, does what Gio does best. He ran away. Gio's gotta do what a Gio's gotta do. Act 2. Too fast. To Gio. So Act 2 starts off with our leads hiding in a graveyard and Leporello like, "What the hell, man? I help you out in literally every way that I can, and then you go and blame me for all your problems?" And Gio's like, "Nah, man, don't quit. Stay with me. I am gonna need you to switch clothes with me though, so that people think that you're me and don't try to kill me when they see me." And Leporello surprisingly is like, "Okay, sounds good, man." And they do. Leporello is off to go flirt with Elvira, and meanwhile Gio once again stays behind and sings a little serenade.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me.
Sadly, the disguise doesn't work for very long because while he's able to fool Elvira, the second that everyone else threatens to rip off Leporello's skull, he's like, psych guys, I'm not actually Gio, he went that way, see ya. So Gio, with a pretty sizable group of people heading his way about ready to run them hands, actually can't help but just laugh about the whole situation and instead decided to ask one of the statues in the graveyard if they want to have dinner with him. Don't ask me how, but the statue somehow responds, and it's like, do you have vegan options? So Gio drives all the way to like, I don't know, Olive Garden and picks something up and then goes all the way back to the graveyard to have his dinner with the statue. What even is this story anymore? Gio comes back to the graveyard after a little run-in with Elvira where she begs him to come back, dinner in hand, when out of the grave comes the father. I don't know how they like had time to bury him. Like, didn't Gio just kill him literally earlier this night? Like not only was the man buried, but he already came back from the grave. And so it turns out that the statue of the grave that Gio asked to dinner was actually the grave of Anna's dad, and now the two of them legally need to have dinner according to US binding law article 62 subparagraph NZ, but not before the two of them hold hands and the dad is like, yo Gio, I know that you're like kind of an asshole with absolutely zero redeeming qualities whatsoever who killed me in cold blood after sleeping with my married daughter, but I'm gonna go ahead and offer you redemption in the name of love. And Gio, being Gio, does what Gio does best. He refused. Gio's gotta do what a Gio's gotta do. And so the statue's like, all right, cool. And literally, okay, like I'm not even exaggerating when I say this. I know that I've been joking around a lot, but this actually happens. He grabs Gio and literally throws him in hell. And that's the end. That's like the end of the opera. Cue the curtains, finale. Now, of course, there was an entire trilogy of sequels following Gio's adventures through hell as he becomes a punished badass demon hunter called Gio May Cry out of sadness for his sins, but we're not gonna get into those right now. Anyways, I've been editing this for like way more hours than I really should have for the very first project of the entire year. God damn it, why am I such an overachiever? But I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed. You guys have fun though. I'll see you.